Hello, welcome to the demonstration on how to use the FRCEM Final OSCE online remote platform via Pratique. What we'll be doing in this video is demonstrating how to log into the system, how to navigate the system, describing the main users within the system, how to move from station to station, what the process is if you disconnect during the course of the examination, how you log back in or reconnect back in. Okay, so firstly, you would have received an email with your login details, so your ID and your password. So I'm going to type in my ID and my password and then just select login. This bar here will actually tell you your examination date and which session. For the purpose of this demonstration, it's today's date, as this is a test exam. And also the PIN will allow you access into the examination. That will also be within the email that you receive. So I'm just going to type in my PIN and then highlight the chosen exam while it downloads, and then it will bring you to the begin page here. So I click in. So essentially now you're outside your first station, and what we'll do, we'll discuss these icons as we go along, and once you get into the station I will show you how you access your instructions and assets. While you're outside the station, until you connect and other users connect, you will not be able to view any of the instructions or assets. And in terms of this number here, that relates to what station you started at. So in terms of how many stations I've done, so this is my first station, so that'd be number 1, and it would go on up until you do 12 stations. Okay, and that's very important for if you disconnect and how to find your way back to the relevant station. So it doesn't necessarily mean what station you start at, it's how many stations you've taken within the circuit. Okie doke. The logout icon obviously logs you out of the system. The calculator has no relevance to this examination, but the icon will be present during the course of the exam. Here just shows you your candidate number, and in terms of the clock, that has no bearing on the actual examination. This timing is taken from your laptop or PC or whichever equipment you use to sit the examination. There will be a timekeeper in the station who will be instructing you of how time flows. So there's no need to worry about the timing here. So I'm ready to connect. I'll connect into the station, and as I'm connecting, right, that will bring me into the station now with the 3 other main users within the station. So as you can see, everyone's labelled in terms of a candidate, examiner 1, simulated patient, and examiner 2. In relation to the various different roles, examiner 2 or examiner 1 will have a blanked out screen which will indicate they are the timekeeper for this station. So they will instruct you when to begin reading your scenario and how your timing is going through the course of the examination, when to end the exam and when to move on. Okay, in relation to now accessing the instructions, as I said, on the outside of the station you won't be able to connect any of the instructions until everyone's connected into the station. And if I want to now open up the instructions, I will double click and that will bring up the scenario here. As you can see on the left hand side, that option there will allow you to zoom, rotate and reset the page here. If you wanted a bigger image of the instructions, I would double click the image in here and be able to read the scenario. Just a warning, if you do double click and it takes the entire screen, you will not be able to see the role player, examiner or the timekeeper. So once I've finished reading and I've been instructed to begin the examination, I can then just close there. Okay. Right, so during the course of the exam, if I want to have a look at the assets, exactly the same, I will double click and then it would highlight down here. And in relation to enlarging the image, exactly the same as the instructions, you can double click or use the options on the left hand side. The options on the left hand side will vary in terms of whether you're using a trackpad or a mouse. So I probably recommend in terms of enlarging the image to double click so it falls up the screen. You can have a look and then close it back down. So once you're taking your examination, you have an interaction with the role player and with the examiner. Your time then comes to an end. The timekeeper will then ask you to move on to the next station. So what you do in this instance now is you disconnect from the station. That will take you on the outside of station 1, and then you would press next to move on to the next station. And as you can see here, now this indicates a station 2. So that's my second station that I've taken, and the exactly same process. As soon as I move on to station 2, I would connect, and that will bring me in to the next station. Okay, and as I said, in terms of the timing, there will be the timekeeper within the station that will be instructing you of when to move on to the station, next station, when to read your scenario, and how time is progressing within the station. If for any reason I've clicked too far forward, so I've missed the station, I would press previous. That would allow me to move back to the station, and then you'll just follow the process of reconnecting. And then once you've reconnected, so it would bring you back to the station, you would reconnect, and then you could begin your examination following the instructions of the timekeeper. Okay, so once you've ended and you've left the examination, you would disconnect and follow through the process of next following through until you finish the circuit. And then once you finish the circuit, that would be the end of the examination, and I'll show you how to log out in a moment. But for instance, let's say you drop your connection. What would you do then? Well, in the first instance, you will try to reconnect to the station. So it's dropped me out of station 1. I would press reconnect and try to reconnect into the station. If for any reason you've been logged out of the system, you'll need just to follow the same process in terms of using your ID, your password, and your PIN to log you back into the examination. And as I said, during the course of the exam, it will tell you on the left hand side here how many stations you've taken. So, for instance, let's say I'm dropped out at station 10 for argument's sake. When I reconnect, I will reconnect to station 1 on the outside of station 1. That's when you just use your next button just to navigate your way through to the relevant station that you disconnected from. You'd press connect, and that will take you back into the station, and you could continue with your examination following the instructions of the timekeeper. Once I've finished my rotation of my examination now, I'm on the last station. I've been asked to leave. I've left the station. I would then log out, finish my exam, and log out completely from the site. I hope you found this demonstration useful. There are some written instructions in relation to how to navigate your way through the examination and how to log in and use your PIN to access the examination. Thank you very much.